hear full-length, unabridged opera, ballet, symphonic, and chamber music. I'll share news of local concert events that you may be interested in attending, background information about some of the greatest musical compositions ever written. Tune in weekdays 9 to 10 a.m. and Wednesday from 9 to 10:30.
Wednesday morning here on KSJE. It's time to take our weekly trip to the Encouragement Lab. That's where Communications Professor Dr. Mike Hadabaugh is joining us from this morning. Dr. Hadabaugh, good morning.
Good morning.
This looks like a little different lab than we're used to. This is in the Encouragement Tower, I guess.
Yeah, we've upgraded now. We have top floor offices. And
nice. Well,
yeah, out in the lobby of my top floor office.
Beautiful view. But today our topic is going to be on mental health, which is always an important topic. This month maybe more than others because it's a Suicide Awareness Month, right?
Very much so. Yeah, and I want to. I spend a lot of time talking with people about emotions and where they're at. I just saw a study that said back in June, literally 1 in 10 Americans was considering suicide. In a 30-day period. Now that's like
wow.
In the last 30 days, 1 in 10 Americans and almost 1 in 4 young adults, which KSJ is based on a college campus. So we have a lot of young adults listening. And I wanted to talk about that, not specifically suicide, but I've got a tip about mental health that I find really helpful for a lot of people.
Okay.
I want to talk to them about it, and I want to share that today.
All right, excellent. Well, it's, again, always good advice and good to hear, I think, especially these times. And I know with everything going on in the world, our mental health is kind of something that we sometimes neglect, and that's not a good thing.
Well, and what we don't know how to do is how to deal with it. And I want to be very clear up front that what I'm about to say may not be true for everybody listening, okay?
Sure.
So, again, this is always information purposes. This is not to diagnose anyone or provide treatment. It's just a thought process that I want to give people because sometimes this has been really helpful to people. So
you bet. And I think we both would encourage, if folks do feel like this is describing them, that they should certainly reach out and talk to a professional in their local community.
Very much so. And we'll at the end here give the suicide hotline number. So if you want to grab a pen and get ready for that,
okay,
we'll give that out before we end today. But
got it.
Have you ever been in the ocean and you ever stood right where the wave was breaking?
Right. Okay.
What does that feel like? And that wave is like constantly, every wave just breaks right on top of you.
Right. Well, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of force, that you feel.
Yeah. And if you stand there, it'll just pound you. Every wave, here it comes, pound.
That's right.
Pound.
One right after another.
Depending on where you're standing. Yeah. I mean, it can be really rough.
Very true.
So here's the thought is that 2020 for sure has felt like one wave after another.
Yes.
Of issues, and they just keep coming. Wave after wave after wave. And here's the thought is our natural tendency is to try to outrun the wave, to run towards the shore.
Right, okay.
And a lot of times that's in the boiling surf. So if you're out, it's a little deeper and the waves are, is the fight back in sometimes can be harder than the other option. And so here's the metaphor is a lot of people think, if I run to shore, I'll get away from all the emotions that are pounding me. And in life, a lot of times you can't run from that completely. So here's a secret. I learned it actually in Hawaii. I actually got to go swimming once at a beach, and I'll tell the mini version of the story. I was swimming and all of a sudden I felt this undertow, and I was a springboard diver in college, so I'm a pretty good swimmer. And I felt this undertow, and I looked back and this huge wave is approaching me. It was kind of a rogue wave inside of a little K at Hawaii that it kind of created itself. And I look back, and it's the biggest wave I've ever been in front of, and it really was scary.
Yeah.
And it was about to crest on top of me.
Nice.
And here's the deal: is if I'd have tried to swim towards shore, it would have eaten me up, and it would have pounded right on top of me, and it may have taken me out. So in a split second, I only did what I knew how to do, and that is I actually dove towards the wave. I dove into the wave right before it broke. Salt water is really buoyant. It pops you right back up on top of the wave. I actually had this amazing view of the beach down below me, as this, and again, it was a huge wave. It went in and took out all the picnickers on the beach. The
Wow,
wave went
wow.
30 yards. Yeah, the wave went 30 yards into the palm trees. It was definitely a rogue wave.
Okay.
And I was behind it, and then, there was some more undertow, and I had to swim away from it. But what saved me that day is actually diving into the wave to
Interesting.
avoid it coming down on top of me.
The opposite of maybe what folks would think you would do.
Exactly. If you watch surfing videos, surfers do that all the time.
That's
when they
right.
fall, they actually dive back towards the deeper water, which is behind the wave. Otherwise, the wave will pound them into the reef. Well, emotions are that way. They come in waves, and if we just stand there and let them hit us time after time after time, they'll pound us to death. And so what I want you to get comfortable with, and here's the metaphor, right, is that we can't avoid emotions, but we can wade out into them a little deeper and avoid the crushing blow of the wave coming down on top of us.
Aha.
So maybe
Right.
instead of running from your emotions, you just let them be. You swim underneath the pounding part of them, the debilitating part, and wait for calmer seas. Because waves tend to come in sets, and after a couple of really bad waves, the seas calm down for a little bit, and now you can safely get to shore.
Right.
So that, as I talk to people that are like, man, I'm just overwhelmed by emotions right now, and I don't know how to control them, it starts by saying, well, let's try to quit controlling them. Let's just let them be for the minute and get out of what's so debilitating about them. Let's start to ask the question, so why am I sad?
Right.
Not, I'm sad, I got to get away from sadness. It's, so what is causing this sadness? What is causing this anger? And now we can start to work through that in a safer place than when it's just pounding. And that's why there are suicide hotlines, is that most of the debilitating emotions that hit us are in a moment. They don't last forever. They last for a moment. And that's why we need to get through them so that we can get to a healthier place and then deal with them in a more effective way. So that's the thought is instead of trying to run from the wave, sometimes you have to dive into it. Now, that's what I'm saying is this is really not for everybody.
That's right.
This information. So like if you're thought of I can just ignore the emotions, no, that's not what I'm saying. If this is, I just need to embrace my thoughts to hurt myself, that's not what I'm talking about either.
Right.
That is
True.
like saying, let the big wave hit me. That's different than what I'm saying.
Sure. Well, and as you said,
That's important.
even in your metaphor, Dr. Hadabaugh, you had to be a powerful enough swimmer to be able to do that and still be able to survive that wave even by diving into it. And so we need to be strong enough too with what you're talking about, or go to talk to someone, a professional who can help us in that situation.
Right. And that's, like I said, that's getting help. So in that moment, I could have waited for a lifeguard.
Yes.
But I was able, in the moment, I was a strong enough swimmer at the moment to take care of myself in that moment. So
Right.
That's the kind of people I'm talking about here. If you know that I can't survive the swim out to the bigger part of the wave, then that's when you get help. And so that number that we need to give everybody today is 1-800-273-8255. That is the suicide hotline. If you're considering that, please call them. There's wonderful trained counselors that are there to help you, to encourage you, to give you the support you need, and to be that lifeguard when you're down. So it's 800-273-TALK is what those last four numbers are. So 8255.
Okay. Good advice, Dr. Hadabaugh. As always, thank you very much for being with us, and appreciate you on the program as always this week. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's have a great week.
Indeed, we sure will. Thank you. That is Dr. Mike Hadabaugh. He is with me every Wednesday from the Encouragement Tower right here on KSJE, Farmington.
It's back. Join us for the Four Corners Film Festival Social Distancing Edition. Independent films, workshops, awards, and all from the comfort and safety of your own home. September 16th, 17th, and 18th, it's all online. Go to film4corners.com to get your tickets and join us from your couch. Same fun, no need to leave home. The Four Corners Film Festival is coming to your living room. Get in on the action at film4corners.com.
This is KSJE.